Yeah, title checking Elliot Wilson. This is a special one, man. We back because this young man's been taking over the internet, and I gotta find out how did this mashup become Fat Joe's new single, man. I got the man himself, Amorphous here. Amorphous, how are you, sir?
What is up? Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing really good, tired, busy, but really
Right?
good. Very grateful and blessed.
Booked and busy, man. Tell me about this journey, man. Like, these mixes, these mashups, man, took the internet by storm. Everybody has that moment where they go, I'm gonna go viral, right? But
Right.
few people can really turn that into real opportunity at times. And you've
Hmm.
done that. Like, talk
Yeah.
to me about this journey of like your mixes being recognized, and then now you're on this path where you're making records with Fat Joe. Man, come on.
It's crazy, crazy story. I've been out here in these streets for a while. I started doing music when I was 4 years old. Started beatboxing, like doing all that as a
Yeah,
kid. Break
little
dancing,
percussion.
yeah, got to get some drums, Timbaland and Neptunes. But it wasn't until 2014 when I started to take production extremely seriously. My dad got me Ableton, the production suite, and within that realm of like learning how to produce from scratch, I got introduced to the world of blending and mashups and
Yeah,
mixing.
yeah,
And so that kind of creation I always did a lot when I was bored. For example, I'd hear a track, a Beyonce track with like a Rihanna track in my head and be like,
yeah,
that'd be really dope. So let me just throw that together because I have nothing else to do. I'm a kid.
yeah,
And so
yeah.
threw that together and I was starting to get a pretty decent sized following on SoundCloud off my original productions. But then once I started uploading like the mashups and the blends, things
Yeah,
really started to kind of like take off. I had a Beyonce and Jay-Z mashup project that I did in like 2017
yeah, yeah,
that just took over.
yeah,
And since then, I was just kind of like putting out stuff whenever I was bored,
yeah,
which would be pretty much all the time because I didn't have a job.
yeah,
And basically, with the pandemic and how things came about was I just started to really put my face to the name behind all these mashups that were going viral over the years. Like you said,
wow,
it's very easy to have like a viral moment. It can be really difficult to turn that into like
yeah,
a genuine opportunity. And so yeah, it was just on Twitter, posting me mixing and doing what I love to do because I had
yeah,
nothing to do in the pandemic. We're in the house,
yeah.
and next thing you know, my life changed. Oprah sending me a laptop, and Joe's reaching out like, "Yo, bro, you a legend." And Khaled's on the phone. He was like, "Yo, that Rihanna, that Luther, we want to turn that to original track, and we want to have you involved. We want to take care of you. We want to make sure you
Yeah,
set." And I mean, it's been a whirlwind of a past 2-3 months, but
yeah,
it's so gratifying because I have been out here doing this for so long,
yeah.
and with no expectation of necessarily any of this really happening, but just out of my gratitude and appreciation for music and
Yeah,
film.
I saw one of your quotes. You said when you felt like at a point where you finally threw out the expectations and fear, you
Yeah,
let go of that. This is when it kind of really took off for you. Can you
it
can you explain
did.
that to a lot? Because there's a lot of young creatives like yourself that are just trying to break through and be heard.
Right. Last year I had to move back from Los Angeles to Orlando, where I went to college. I went to Folsom University in film,
Yeah,
and I cannot lie, it was devastating. My mom was on life support at the time, and I had no idea what I was really going to do next. And it was a thing of like, I've had all these viral moments, and no, I'm not necessarily thinking I have to become like, get my big break off of any of them, but I'm broke. I can't afford a cheeseburger. I have to move back home. It's like 47-hour drive by myself. And
mm,
then get back home, try to get a 9 to 5 job. Pandemic happens, everything gets shut down.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so I was pretty down on myself in the sense that like I, my expectations were shattered because it wasn't even like, get your big break. At that point, it was get a job, save your money up, and then work your way back out to Los Angeles. But clearly, that's not what was in store for me. And I just had to be a little bit more patient and understand that just
yeah,
by you letting go of those expectations and not even really thinking of it in the sense of like, where can this really get me tomorrow? Living in the now and just doing that for yourself. All the music and film stuff I do, I'm my biggest fan, and I
yeah.
just so happen to share that with the world, and they've reciprocated, and I'm just so grateful.
So I think you said it was a dream, like a Thanksgiving morning dream, that you're gonna put this Luther and Rihanna record together, and just a compliment to your ear. It's like it's not like there's like here's all these Rihanna acapellas and Luther instrumentals, like, and also these tempos are very distinctive. Like I don't know a lot of DJs that would even try to even put these records together. Like, talk to me about your mind state when it comes to putting these mixes together.
For sure. My mind is so spontaneous. It's hilarious. When I woke up that morning, I was in that like limbo between sleep and awakeness. And I was thinking about my dad and how we would be in the car listening to a lot of Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father. It's like one of my favorite Luther Vandross tracks, so many memories. And I began hearing Never Too Much. And for some reason, I heard the guitar from Kiss It Better just over top of it. And I'm like, I know that doesn't exist. And it clicked in my head that it was Rihanna's track, which is my favorite Rihanna song.
Yeah.
And once I listened to the tracks individually, I said, oh no, there's no way this is going to work. Two totally different keys. There's no instrumental for Never Too Much out. You're going to have to like do some like incredible like looping, engineering. I mean, it was, I wouldn't say it was difficult, but I just knew it was going to take a little bit of work. So end up putting that together. And again, that whole entire like month, I was kind of showing me mixing stuff live and just having time. So I was like, oh, this is the perfect one to do. It combines, something from my childhood that I grew up with my dad to an artist that I've looked up to for the past decade and a half.
You made a Rihanna documentary.
Exactly. So, I put that out into the world, and like the rest was history. But the way my mind really works is like it can be, sometimes I can sit down and listen to a track and say, I really want to like combine this with something. But most of the times it's just completely random. I could be sitting here talking to you, and an idea will help come into my head. That could be an original production, that could be a mashup, that could be a film idea. It's just, I'm a whole like jack of all trades when it comes to all that.
So talk me through it. So then, but that particular you were doing all these great mixes that were making noise, but that one really broke through, right? That really on a different level. So just tell me about the next days after that, and how does it happen? Because I know Fat Joe, I know Khaled. Those are very big personalities. Like, what's it like? Like, who reaches out to you? Like, what is that process like when they first reach out to you?
This story is so funny, and I'm never, ever, for the rest of my life, ever going to get tired of saying it. Basically, what I came about was I was checking my top requests on Instagram, and I see that Fat Joe is trying to reach out to me. And I'm kind of, I'm just sitting there like, what the heck does Fat Joe want to talk to me about? Like, what verses? Like, he gonna get me on verses? Okay, yeah, let's go. But it was a thing of basically, I read the message and he's like, bro, trying to get in touch with you ASAP. What's your number? And I'm like, okay, so it seems pretty urgent. Send over my number, and within like 0.5 seconds, he FaceTimes me. Not even a call, he FaceTimes me. And I have to do my best Mr. Joe impression.
Please, you got to.
He says, this is how he was. He says, Amorphous, what's up, youngin? How you doing? Let me hold up. How old are you again? I'm like, I'm 23. He's like, you look like you 15. You a young genius. Now let me tell you something. I basically retired for a little while. I came out, with all the way up and doing all that stuff, but I ain't really been inspired to do music like that. But that Rihanna and that Luther, man, I mean, Luther's my favorite artist. That spoke to me. And just to see you jamming and doing stuff, I had to go in the studio and I rapped over it. And we want to put it out officially. Dre from Cool and Dre sent it to me, and we're gonna get the samples cleared and everything. And let me play the track real quick. So he plays me the track, and I'm sitting here like still trying to comprehend what the heck is going on.
Wow.
And then on the track, I hear DJ Khaled's name. I'm like, huh? He flips the camera around. Here comes DJ Khaled walking into and he's like, yo, what's up, Amorphous? Another one. They're so similar in their personalities. And he was like, yo, you a genius, you a legend. We want to really put this out and have you involved with it. And basically what came about it was like, Joe wanted me involved in the production front. He wanted me in the video. He wanted me taken care of. He wanted to give me all the credit that I rightfully deserved. And, that's rare to hear from people.
Even an artist credit.
Exactly. With a big artist credit. Not like, if you notice, they changed it to it's me, Joe, and Khaled. So it's like main artist. So it's like I was like down for that, because it was just a mashup that I put out just for fun, and it turned into this incredible opportunity with industry legends and moguls.
Another legend was Puffy, man. You do this video, all of a sudden you come down there and Puff Daddy's in the video. What's that like for you?
Diddy is so Diddy. Like, that's all I can say. He's so Diddy. It's like it wasn't even any type of intimidation on that set, let alone that being the first time meeting Joe in person, meeting Khaled in person. When Diddy first came in, he like he locked eyes with me for a second. He was like, "Yo, what's up, young genius?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's Diddy." And Khaled comes in right after, and he's like bowing down. I'm like, "Well, y'all are industry
Yeah,
running the game,
icons.
running the
Yeah,
game
yeah.
for years." And just to have that experience again, one thing that they all pressed, every single one on set, including Diddy, Khaled, and Joe, was to continue to be myself. That even though I'm on set with these people, whatever, I
Yeah,
don't have to switch up for anybody in the industry, and that
absolutely.
understanding that that's integral to who you are as a person. That's at the end of the day, when life is all said and done, all you have is yourself in your
Yes,
soul and your
sir.
spirit. And so to hear that from people like you said that are big personalities and they've done such incredible work,
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing. I had to come on set and act a certain way. I was just like, "Hi, I'm Jameer. I'm Amorphous. What's up?" And they were just like embracing me with all the love and
That's
just
beautiful,
just really
man.
incredible how it came about.
That's beautiful. So you see, I looked at the research. That's a very high. Obviously, this is the most high-profile collaboration. We're about to go to radio. About I think it's most added on radio. We about to assault the charts. But if you dig even deeper with you, you also have a production credit on Division's new album
Yeah, shout out to
with a little song with Snow Allegra. Like, how does that happen, man?
It's very similar story, very similar. One, shout out to 1985. He's like a brother to me. And I say that in every single interview. We've truly gotten to know each other over the past year or so. And I mean, he's in my corner 100%. Like nothing could happen to me without him understanding and knowing. But in November of 2019, Division had dropped their track In Between. And I'm a huge Division fan from the moment that they first put their first track on SoundCloud. Okay, I was standing.
Day one, day
And
one, day one.
day one fan. And so I'm listening to this track, and it's a beautiful track. And for some reason, again, my brain works super in creative ways. I said, "Yo, Usher would sound dope on that." That's what I said. I was like, "Yo, Usher would just be incredible on that." And so I put together a mashup of Usher's Nice and Slow and Division's In Between, put it out on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter and stuff. And within like 0.5 seconds of me uploading it, somehow 1985 was in my DMs. And I'm looking at that like, I know that's like a verified check mark and I know it says 1985. I'm thinking, oh, wait, he's going to be like, "Yo, take that down. We just put the track out 5 minutes ago. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And I gathered up the courage to speak to him. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm here. What's up?" And he's like, "Yo, we've seen you doing your thing for like a couple years now. That thing that you just did with our track and Usher is incredible. We want to turn that into an original track on the album." And so I throw my phone. I mean, I promise you, over the course of the past few years, there's definitely some times that I throw my phone, but I threw my phone. I mean, Division in and of itself and separately, since they're a duo, just incredible people.
Yeah.
1985, as a producer, I look up to him so much, and to hear that from him, and to understand that Daniel, the singing half of Division, was the one that discovered it. I'm like, Daniel's voice is incredible. Like, can I get him on my project?
Yeah.
So to have that kind of opportunity, and then for Snow to hop on it, and to understand that was like a mashup that I made out of boredom in my little LA closets in the scalding hot weather, and now it turned into this beautiful thing. And I had to understand that I manifested that a couple years ago. When I was talking to my best friend, we talked about who we want to work with, and I'm like, "I want to work with Division. I'm going to work with Division. I'm gonna have an OVO release." Ended up having an OVO release. So that's how it happened.
I think your love of the music even comes across when you're talking about these things. Like, what is it like for you? Like, and also just being such a fan, and to now at this point with people reaching out with your impact, really building relationships with your inspirations. What's that like?
It's a blessing, and that's like the simplest way that I can state it, because at the end of the day, I realized that life is incredibly short, and nothing that is happening to me, the support, the inspiration, being able to talk to them, you cannot take that for granted. And so I mean, there's times when I think I've been handling it pretty well, extremely well, because I feel like anybody would have jumped off a bridge
Well,
by now.
you kept your mouth shut about Sunshine until it was time, right? That was hard.
Yeah, and oh man, some people were like, "Wait, why are you talking about this right now?" I said, "Oh, I got the go ahead. Trust me, we good. I can talk about it." But just to understand and know that people that I look up to, and hear from them that I'm inspiring them as well. I just turned 23. I'm just now getting my foot into this industry that I've dreamed of being in. It's incredibly surreal. But I think the biggest thing that shocked me more than anything outside of the celebrity stuff is just the baseline support. The people that, you know, are my age or have been in the predicament that I've been in, been through the struggles that I've been through, are trying to, for their big break. The stories that I've heard from people. I mean, I was on Instagram Live and people came on and they were crying, and I'm sitting there like, what's happening? It's just me. But really understanding and hearing their stories, and you know, some people have been following me for years and they've seen the grind, they've seen the struggle, and so to know that this is just the beginning on all of that, it's incredible and something I don't take for granted.
No, absolutely. I'm a little jealous though, man. Missy Elliott, man, she's on my bucket list of interviews, man. And you're
Let me hit her up
man.
real quick.
I was hoping you would say that, Amorphous. I was hoping you put in a word for me one day, man. Tell I'm a good guy, man. Sure. Nah, but it's dope, man. And so what can you tell me about 2021? I know you probably have a lot of things in the pipeline you can't speak on yet. I know how this business goes, man, but what should we look out for you, man? It's your Jordan year. I know this is just a beginning.
I keep forgetting it's my Jordan year. You're right. Just knowing everything that's happening that I got to be quiet about. I'm like, big one. And hopefully, you know, that continues in the future. But what you can definitely look forward from me is I have a project that I've been working on for a while of my own original productions. And it's so funny that Khaled kind of got involved. You think about how Khaled, like when he puts out his albums, he has like a bunch of featured artists on. So it'll be a bunch of featured artists on my production. And very thankful for, you know, now that the eyes of the industry on me, some of those people that I really look up to are like, yo, let me get on that project. So that'll be a really dope release in a couple of months, hopefully. Producing for some other artists. There's some like official remixes that I produced that are coming out. Incredible stuff on the film side. That's something that I like, boop, 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 but that's all I can say. Big things. And so you'll be seeing a lot of me this year. I hope y'all don't get tired.
So basically, that laptop that Oprah gave is going to be put to good use.
Put to good use. Trust me. Thank you, Oprah.
Nah, Amorphous, man. As these gentlemen have told you, man, you are a young creative genius, man. Your story is inspiring to us all, man. I want to wish you continued success. Thank you so much. Brother. Continued success,
Thank you so much for everything. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. It means the world. And again, thank you for the opportunity. I get emotional sometimes, but just really letting it hit me.
You got to embrace that, man. You always say that, but it's important. That's who you are. And I guess, like I said, even talking to you, you understand why, because your love, your passion for the music and your drive comes across and everything.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Success, brother. That's Amorphous, y'all. Title check in.
See y'all.